Oh, did Hans get the GM title? Did he win? Wow, he won in 22 moves. Let's see how Hans became a GM. How Hans became a GM. So Hans is playing white. Okay, so playing black is GM Sebastien Maze. Or maybe it's Maze. And then playing white is, I guess he's still the last game of International Master Hans Niemann. I before E? I before E. Especially before man. Okay, so we already know the result. I'm going to hide the notation. So we know Hans won, and we know he won in 22 moves. Unfortunately, like, yeah, there were bound to be some spoiler, but we don't know how. So let's see the game. I haven't seen it. I had the tab open with the final position, but I try not to look at it. So yeah, how do you beat a GM in 22 moves in like a slow game? It happens, but I mean, this is probably the most important games of Hans's life. Like the game to become a GM. Sadly, I can't really relate. Okay, so Nimzo Indian. Yeah, I know Hans has been playing like a lot of mainline D4. And he plays, this is a so-called Rubinstein variation. I think it's the most common line. If we just see the opening book. Oh, Queen C2 is maybe slightly more common on Lichess, but E3 is most common in master level play. So in this position, as white, there's close to a dozen playable moves. E3, Queen C2 are probably most common. Knight F3, G3, A3, Bishop here, Queen B3 is playable. F3 is also a tricky line. So when you play the Nimzo Indian as black, there's a lot that you have to be prepared for. But okay, he plays E3. Solid approach. Yeah, you can't play E4. E4 is like the one move you can't really do because knight takes E4. So yeah, one of the points when black plays in Nimzo is to control the E4 square. Sometimes with D5, sometimes with B6, bishop B7. So, okay, the game goes on castling, bishop D3, and B6, very typical. Now knight E2. So I've played similar setups as black before. Okay, so now A3. Yeah, usually white plays A3 when the knight's supported by either the other knight or the queen. So in the event of bishop takes C3, the pawns don't get doubled. Here we see bishop E7. Yeah, if takes, white would have the bishop pair and no double pawns. Okay, so bishop E7, preserving the bishop pair. And it looks a little bit passive, but I'd imagine, yeah, they're still in some theory. Oh, now Hans plays E4. Interesting. Also, I should note, in this position, black could take on G2. Oh, Hans said that B6 is a mistake, really? Wait, wasn't there some... I'm having some vague memory of like some Alpha Zero game or Leela game. Was it this line though? So white stacking a pawn here. Takes. This looks fun for white because you get the G file, you get initiative, and then you play E4. This looks really fun. E5 coming, bishop H6, the queen comes in.
G5.
Oh, G5. Like a G. Thanks, Stanek. Maybe B6 is a small inaccuracy. It's been a while since I've looked at these variations. Okay, so we see e4. And it seems like white just got a really nice center. C5, D5. So now we have kind of a Benoni style structure. Um, yeah, this is a typical structure. And black has less space. Usually these sort of positions, they lead to really long grinding games. So I'm really curious how Hans won so quickly. Knight g3. I guess white has a nice lead in development too, like maybe f4 at the right moment. Knife f5. Yeah, sometimes black wants to do like g6, knight g7, f5, but it's a bit slow here. G3, preparing f4 probably. Or h4. Man, look at black's pieces. Black has a single piece developed, and it's such a sad bishop too. Also keep in mind, black's a grandmaster. But it's a great example, like what to do in the opening as white. Like improve your pieces, gain space. H4 can be useful in cases, usually for two reasons, either to play h5, h6, or to eventually support bishop g5. Okay, so g6. Maybe he was anticipating g6 and seeing the potential for h5 later. Wow, knight h6, king h8, king g2. I like this idea. From white's perspective, I mean, you have so much time because black's really like just stuck. But also, the rook wants to be on the h file because after h5, the h file can open, and the king's just kind of a very delicious looking sitting duck. So this, this king g2 facilitates this rook h1, h5 push. So bishop g7, retreating the only developed piece, but maybe preparing f5. Now we see h5. So Hans wasting no time. G5. And black probably just wants the position to stay closed. Now knight g4. So threatening probably h6, which would be really, really nice looking. I'm curious why black didn't play h6 himself. Not entirely sure. Maybe f4 would... f4 actually looks really, really strong here. Just destroying the pawns, and h6 would be a weakness in the end. There's a line, if we imagine like everything takes, h6 is attacked, king h7 would defend, but then walk into this. f5 we en passant with check. So just one example of how things can go south for black. So queen d7, developing a second piece but blocking the bishop, but threatening the knight. So f3 defending the knight. Now h6, yeah, trying to keep things closed. I like rook h1. It's the right moment you might want to sack and go for h6. I mean, also the idea of f4 is always lingering. If you want to link to the study, I'll link it in chat. You can follow along. So I think we're approaching the end of the game. What move are we on? Yeah, we're on move 20. Wait, Hans won in 2 more moves? He won in 2 more moves from this position. I didn't look at the final moves, but let's try and... Okay, let's try and guess what he did here. a6. Did he go for bishop takes g5? Is it winning? It's probably one of the first things you calculate, like bishop g5, pawn g5, h6. Bishop has to move back. And you take, and queen d2, rook g8. It seems close. And some people in chat saying bishop g5. 93. I mean, 93, it's also logical, like just improve the knight. Knight a4 being suggested. Knight a4 is kind of cool. Just going after the pawn, trying to spread black thin. Actually, knight a4 is really cool. I'm sure some people in chat, like, you have the link to the study, you probably know the move. I'm trying to figure it out. Knight a4. Because then when the queen moves, then we play f4. Okay, let's see. Oh, some people, okay, some people spoiling. Knight e3. That's surprising. How does he win the game in one more move? Oh. Oh, wow. White to move?
Twitch fetus.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, subbing for 6 months. Soon to be a baby. Thanks, MLG Alien. This is really cool. Like, knight c7, in some sense, is a blunder. I mean, the position was already kind of difficult for black. But the move here for white is, it's incredible. Like, I was expecting white to just crash through on the king side. But look at this move. Knight a4. Black resigns. That's so awesome. Wow. A game to become a grandmaster. He built up this whole like impressive kingside display and knight a4 out of nowhere. And the point is black just doesn't have a good way to defend the pawn. And when the pawn is lost, I mean, I probably wouldn't have resigned here. I would have played rook a7, like make him fight for it. Maybe he's nervous. But white wins b6. And white's going to get rid of this bishop, plant a knight here, play f4. It's so bad for black. Stockfish probably, I would imagine Stockfish gives at least plus 2.5, plus 4, man. Yeah, because it sees like 5 moves ahead. Oh, it's actually saying, okay, we can take the bishop. Yeah, play knight f5, and then at the right moment play f4. What a game. I mean, Hans deserved it, or deserves it. Very deserving. I mean, he's worked really hard. Um, he did have a tough loss. I think the game before this one was like a super long game. He needed a draw to secure the title, but ended up losing. So I might put this on YouTube, dedicate it to Hans, who he's also a Twitch streamer. He should start a YouTube channel if he doesn't have one already. So hi to YouTube, yeah, reacting to Hans's achieving of the Grandmaster title. Um, I know maybe I didn't cover all the variations so thoroughly, but it was more just getting a sense of what unfolded this game. It's cool to go through a game without knowing exactly what to expect. Um, I did learn like there's some things to learn just from seeing some of these moves that you really have to take into account the big picture and identify the weaknesses. Don't have too much tunnel vision. Oh yeah, hello to chicken nuggets. At least 3 chicken nuggets. Also hi to Pam. So everyone in Twitch chat, say congratulations to Hans. And again, assuming this goes on YouTube, I will link Hans's Twitch and other links in the video description. Okay, here's a congratulatory Twitch chat. Twitch chat is so kind. Hey, it's Fabiano.